Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Zoya Zafar and our course title is Communication Skills. So, this is our second lecture on narration. We can say this is the second part of our first lecture. So, in the previous lecture, we were discussing what is narration, what is direct speech, what is indirect speech, what are the key words, and what are the changes occur when we will converting direct speech into indirect speech. There are some changes in places, some changes in time, some changes in some words, and there are changes in tenses. So these all we were discussing in the previous lecture. So here we are discussing what different types of sentences in narration. So the first one is assertive sentences. Assertive sentences are sentences that are used to state information, mean that they convey some sort of information. They are the most commonly used type of sentence. So when there is an object after reporting verb, change say to into tell, says to into tell, said to into told, mean these changes may occur. If there is no object after the reporting verb, do not change the verb. Then remembers to is not used after tell or told. Then remove comma and inverted commas and use that in place of the opening quote. And then if object of the reporting verb is found in reported speech instead of reporting verb itself, make it object of the reporting verb. Then changes pronoun and tense of the verb of reported speech according to the rules. So these are the changes, these are some minor changes which occur and convert the direct speech into indirect speech. So here's some example. Means Rahila said, I had done my work. When we convert into indirect speech, Rahila said that she had done her work. That means there is the change of tense of reported speech. Means indirect speech, I had done my work, is the tense which is used in reported speech is perfect. And when we convert into indirect, so it remains same. When the now see the other example. Rabia said to me, I cannot help you in my work. And when we convert into indirect, Rabia told me that. So here said to converted into told, and to is not used with told. Then that he could not help you in my work. So here the changes may occur. And then the thief said, I am innocent. When we convert into indirect, the thief said that he was innocent. The change or occur in the reported speech. Means direct speech reported reported speech as I am innocent in present tense. And when we convert into indirected, so it convert into past tense. So means the reported speech tense of direct speech is present simple, and when we convert into indirect, so the indirect reported speech tense is past simple tense. Now the next one is imperative sentence. So what the imperative sentences are? These sentences given commands or make request. Imperative sentences end with period. So in imperative sentences, reporting verb is changed into ask, advise, and request. So the thing which you will recognize is or remember is the reporting verb is changed into ask, advise, and request into these words. Then tense remains the same, so there is no change occur in the tense. Then the verb is put into the infinitive to, and when we use verb, we use infinitive verb to. So the example is, I said take your seat. When we change into indirect, I asked, him to take his seat. So we change the reporting verb said into the word asked, and then him to take his seat. Take and before use to means infinitive to take his seat. Then the other example, he said, "Give me some food, please." So give me some food, please. When we convert into indirect, he requested me to give him some food means that said converted into the word requested and requested me, and to is used before give. So to give him some food. Now the next one is interrogative sentences. So interrogative means interrogative sentences are the sentences which we use to ask question. According to these sentences, they end with a question mark. So the first point which you will be remember is a question is changed into a statement, and the second is in a direct yes or no questions, reporting verb is changed into ask and inquire, and if and whether is used instead of that. So the example is, she said, "Are you writing a poem?" Means when we convert it into indirect, she asked me. Now said converted into asked me, and then when we remove inverted commas, we use whether. I was writing a poem. The question, "Are you writing a poem?" is converted into a statement, I was writing a poem. Now the second one is, I said to him, "Do you know when she will go home?" So here again the question, do you know when she will come, she will go home. When we convert into indirect, I asked him. Now said to him again change into I asked him. If means that when we remove inverted commas, we use if. He knew when she would go home. The question converted into the statement. So these changes may occur into interrogative sentences. Narration means when we change interrogative sentences in direct into indirect, these changes may occur. Now the next one is exclamatory sentences. In the exclamatory sentences are the sentences which expresses some emotions and as such end with an exclamation mark. For example, means the changes which may occur in the exclamatory sentences are, in exclamatory sentences, reporting verb is changed into exclaim with joy, exclaim with sorrow, exclaim with anger, and exclaim with surprise, and etc. That is used instead of reporting verb. Now the second the example is, he said, "How beautiful a place." How beautiful a place is an exclamatory sentence. Now when we convert into indirect form, we say, he exclaimed with joy that it was a very beautiful place. So we used exclaim with joy instead of said, and remove the inverted commas and use that. Now the second example is, Sana said, "Alas, his father died." So when we now you can see that alas, his father died. This is the news of sorrow. So we say in indirected, Sana exclaimed with sorrow that his father had died. Now the next one is optative sentences. So optative sentences are these which expresses hope, wish, or prayer. So when we change optative sentences into direct to indirect, so we may change like for making indirect speech of optative sentence, said of reporting verb is changed according to the optative word of reporting speech. Means according to the hope, wish, prayer, according to these words we change our reporting verb. A list of such words is given: good morning, good evening, good afternoon converted into wished, good night, goodbye converted into bade, farewell be also converted into weight, would that, and all that converted into wished, means that these words shows the wish, so these are converted into wished. So here's the some example of optative sentences. The first example is, he said to me, may you live long. So here may you live long is a phrase of wish. So when we convert into indirect, we can say, we wish that I might live long. So may converted into might, and said to me converted into wished. Now the second example is, she said, may your enemy go to hell. Here it is a curse. So she said, she cursed that my enemy might go to hell. We used cursed instead of said. So the third example is, Seema said to me, may God bless you with our children, means when we convert into indirect, this is the phrase. So Seema prayed that God might bless me with children. So these are the words changed in optative sentences narration. So there are some miscellaneous sentences. Miscellaneous sentences are sentences which are mingled or mixed with one and each other. If we in few sentences, emotions were very important while converting their direct speech to indirect speech. Word of the same emotion is used in place of said to, means with the as we convert in the optative according to the wish, pray, or hope. So here Ali said to Talha, may you live long. So this is the wish, or this is the pray to Talha from Ali. So when we convert into indirect, Ali prayed that Talha might live long. And in the other example, she said to Raza, may God bless you with a son. So here she prayed to for Raza. So when we convert it to indirect speech, she prayed that God might bless Raza with a son. So these are the miscellaneous sentences. Now the other is short story. What the short story is, so here's the definition of short story, means tells about a single event or experience. When we are talking about short stories, so short stories tell about some events or experiences, like button chapter. This is the short story. When this is the fictional, not true. And when we are talking about short story, so it is the fictional, not true, it is an imaginary. And it had containing 500 to 15,000 words in length, means it is not too short. So it may have 500 to 15,000 words. Then it has a beginning, middle, and like other stories, short story also have a proper beginning, have a proper middle, and have proper end, and then creates an impression on the readers. And a short story also create or impact some impression on the reader. So there are some key elements of a short story. These are setting, characterization, plot, conflict, climax, resolution, theme, and point of view. So we will discuss what is setting. Setting tells the reader where and when the story takes place, means that setting is something which tells the location of the place, location. Then the characterization, creation of imaginary people who appear to be real to the reader. The writer gives information about the characters in the story. For example, means characterization. In characterization, we image some people which are not exist in real, but we use we characterize these, means in button Norma and author are the characterization of the writer. So the next one is plot. A series of events through which the writer reveals what is happening to whom and why. So plot is something in which we or in which writer describe or reveal the happening, what is happening, and to whom and why it will be happens. The next one is conflict. It is a problem in the story that needs to be resolved. So conflict is a problem which need to be resolved. Next one is climax, when the action comes to its highest point of conflict. So this is the climax when we see in the movies, when the movies in its peak. So this mark interval. So is interval and climax are something some resemblance. So the next one is resolution, the story's action after the climax until the end of the story, the conclusion of the story. So resolution is something, the conclusion of the story means that when story's actions after the climax, this is the conclusion or the resolution. The next one is theme, the story's main idea. Theme is the story of main idea of the story, the message the writer intends to communicate by telling the story. The last one is point of view. So the point of view, the position of the narrator of the story and what the writer sees from that vantage point means here the point of view is that when we read the story, so as a narrator, what's the point we arise or we are thinking about. So this is the short story. Now according to these elements, great writers are able to use these elements of the short stories with such precision that the reader is caught up in the action of the story. This is a mark of a good story and our goal as a writer. So the next one is news report. What is news report? So according to our course content, how we convert our story into a news report. So what is news report? So before discussing what is news report, we discuss what is report writing. A report is a statement of the result of an investigation or of any matter on which definite information is required. Means that report is a statement or the results of some investigation or the conclusions of the investigation in the other is a report is a systematic, well organized document which defines and analyzes a subject or problem. Means it is a systematic work and well organized document in which we define and analyze some subject or some problem. The next one is why do we write reports? The question arises, why do we write reports? So we write report to represent the findings and result of some research or of some work or some problem. Now the next one is to keep records. So why we write reports? Because it is in a written form and it is a proof or it is some sort of proof. And the next one is to tell about failures and success. So when we write reports, we discuss about failures and successes and some good and bad points, also says some negative and positive points. The next one is to tell the progress of the project or research. When we write reports, we tell the progress of our work, of our project, of our research to the institute, to the research, to the supervisor or someone else. So why do we we write reports? So we write reports for these purposes. The next one is how should it be? So a report aims to inform as clearly or concisely as possible. It should be easy to read and professional in its presentation. So when we write report, we are talking about these points. Means a report must B. Accurate, concise, clear, and well structured mean that accurately written, concise, not too much long, not too much short. It's clear and well structured means there is a proper beginning, middle, and end. The next one is success criteria of a good report. What is the success criteria of the good report? So the success criteria of a good report is write in present tense. When we will write a report, so it is in a present tense, then write in a passive sentences and write in the third person, not first and second. It is write in the third person, he, she, it, and use vocabulary associated with the time, first, then, after, later, finally means these types of words are used in the report. When then use factual and precise descriptive language means when we write report, we use factual words which shows real things. So we use descriptive language, we write in detail. The next one is types of report. What are the types of report? According to the use, there are two types of report, external and internal. So what the external report is? External report that are prepared and submitted before the external parties such as shareholders, government, and credit institution are called external reports. Then what is internal report? An internal report is a report are prepared by the management accountant and submitted before the different levels of management for the purpose of planning and control are called internal report. So there are two types of internal report, routine report and special report. According to period, these are the report types, routine and special report. So what is routine report? So a report is it is otherwise called general report. Routine report is called general report or periodical report because these types of reports are submitted before management at periodical intervals. Means the period of intervals may be a week, fortnightly, monthly, or yearly. Means when we are talking about routine report, so sometimes some reports are prepared and submitted even on daily basis. So these types of reports are routine reports. For example, production reports, sales reports, and operating reports. So these are the routine reports. And when we are talking about special report, we can say a report is prepared and submitted on a request of the management for achieving a specific objective. Special report is written to achieve a specific objective. Such type of special reports do not deal with day-to-day problems. This report is presented only after making an investigation very clearly with regard to any specific problem which requires special attention. So the examples of special reports are creation of news report market, introducing new products. So these are the types of examples of special reports. The next one is news report. So for our examination or according to our course outline, we will be familiar with news report. So we will discuss types of news report in detail. Types of news report. There are two types of news report, national newspaper and local newspaper report. So in national newspaper report, we will report on national issues like finance, war, and politics. So when we are reporting about finance, about some war or about some political issues, so this is the national newspaper report. Or when we are talking about local newspaper reports, so in this type of report we would report on action and events in the area and tend to learn towards emotional stories. So in local newspaper reports we are reporting about some actions or some events which will be held in the area. So these are the types of reports. Now we see the structure of a report. The structure of a news report is often compared to an inverted triangle. Means we when we talk about the most important details are at the top. Means that when we are talking about the most important details or information, so it is right on the top. And when we are talking about details and other relevant information is the so it is placed in the body of the text. And when we are talking about the least important information, so it is placed at the end of the report. And newspaper reports are written in columns. So these are the reports. So next one is a newspaper report includes the following in order. So a headline or byline, an opening paragraph or introduction. Further short paragraphs detail are given in order of importance and facts and opinions. So first, headline and byline means the reporter's name and pictures. And in opening paragraph or introduction, it is about 25 to 40 words in length and provides the most important and interesting news first, while answering who, what, where, when, and how and why are often reversed for later. Means in opening paragraph we are answering the question who, what, where, and when. Now the further short paragraph means it is about 30 to 40 words in length. Each one has a main idea and different fact. Include quotes from people involved or experts. Means in it we quoted some words or some sentences of some experts. And now the next one is detail are given in order of importance. Means least important details at the end of the articles we mentioned. Then facts and opinions. So at the end of the newspaper article the facts and opinions are summarized detailing the issues or events. So this is the and these are the points which a newspaper report includes. Now the next one is here means time, city, and the name are the sub masthead hai. Now this is American youth collect dry waste in Pyongyang do their bit to conserve the earth on International Day of Climate Action. So this is the subheading. Now the heading is or the heading is local action for a global cause. Now the byline is their name and then opening paragraph, then short paragraph, details, quote, statement written in columns. Now the next one is summary of reports. This is the structure of a newspaper report. Now the next one is visual stimulus. What the visual stimulus include? It includes headings and photographs, illustration, graphs, graphics, and maps. So what is headings or headlines? So it uses size, bold, capital, different font styles, underlining, and sometimes color to grab attention. So these are used to grab the attention of the reader. Means slash and grab are links, attacks, spray. These are underlining words. Some are in bold, some are in different size and different fonts. So these are the headlines. When we are talking about photographs, illustration, graphs, graphics, and maps, they are used alongside newspaper article to help present complex information as well as add interest and color. It adds the interest of the reader. Means here some thing which we uh, mention you through the arrows. So the next one is language features. There are use some language feature in news report. Newspaper articles, news articles combine the following language features to inform, entertain and persuade. Means clear and concise writing, written in third person, should be factual and accurate, then should include quotes, comment, statements and observation from people involved or expert on the topic. The next one is give people labels and should avoid racist, should be accurate and balanced. So in first, give people labels means that the reader knows who they are straight away. For example, the minister and Mr. Dash. Means give people labels means when you are writing a report about something, so you must write their names. Then should avoid racist mean discriminatory statements and slurs are avoided to write. Now the next one is should be accurate and balanced means provide facts supporting both sides of the issues. The one more point is headlines convey information and attract attention using the following. So short phrases and incomplete sentences are written in headlines. Figurative language are used, and stereotype and exaggerated words are written in headlines. Headlines are very important in newspaper reports. The next one is introductory paragraph means the leading paragraph of the news report. Most important in the report, it is the most important part of the news report. Then provides a summary of the report means the introductory paragraph is the leading paragraph and it provides a summary of the report. Then answers the following question means in this introductory paragraph or leading paragraph we answered the following questions mean why, where, when, how these things are occur or happens. The next one is conclusion. So follow-up action by the authorities means police are investigating the cause of the fire. This is the example of follow-up action by the authorities. Mean authorities take an action, so police are investigating the cause of the fire. Now the next one is appeal for information. So in this section, for example, those interested can contact the organizers at this number. So this is the appeal for information. Then quote that summarizes the story means in this section we quote someone's word like Mr. Wahan Khan, the CEO, told News Today, we are glad to see youths coming forward to participate in this fundraising event. Our company supports this positive trend. So this is the quote or the someone sayings which are quoted in the story or which are summarizes the story. So the next one is your report should have at least six paragraph means in leading paragraph you there are some six section. These should answer the question who, what, where, when, why and how. So come up with a catchy headline and write in columns. These questions will be answered in columns. Your first paragraph should introduce the main idea of the story and answer the questions who means. And now the next one is your paragraph should be short and to the point. So the next one is you should have referred to some of the things people said about the event written in the past tense throughout your reports. And in that point means when you are referring someone words, so you are written in the past tense these words in the past tense because this is the opinion or this is the information which will be given to you from people about the incident. Now the next one is your report should be easy to read and understand, means your report is clear and concise. It should be written in sentence, so it is written in sentences, paragraph, and should not have any spelling mistake, and your report should not have any spelling mistakes. So this is the news report, how you write a news report. So thank you. I hope it will be effective for you. Allah Hafiz.